Hello, Wojak community. Today is March 5th, 2026, Thursday morning. A few days ago, a member of our community referred me to a Chinese influencer on Weibo. For those who don't know, Weibo is the equivalent of Twitter in China. When I was in China, 10 years ago, Weibo used to be really big. It was actually, I think the design was better than Twitter back then. But since Xi Jinping came to power, he began to crack down on Weibo, which was, a lot of people were posting anti-communist comments on Weibo. I mean, I'm anti-communist as well, anti-communism as well. But, many of the people on Weibo back then, they were just making up stuff. They were like spreading rumors, just so that to attack the Communist Party. And that's why the government cracked down on Weibo. And that was also the time when Weixin became popular. So Weixin really replaced Weibo about 10 years ago in China. I left China in 2016. And from what I heard, it seems like there was a resurgence of Weibo over the past 10 years. So the account that I used to have, it became so obsolete on Weibo. I never even tried to log into it. But this person said that, this guy here on Weibo, he's a whale, influencer. People seem to trust him a lot, and asked me to get in touch with him on Telegram. So that's what I did. I'm not really. I'm usually pretty suspicious of people, So I didn't really take too much stock in this, but I was able to talk to this guy. He has about 800,000 followers on Weibo, and he's based from Zhejiang, China. Zhejiang, actually I spent some time in Zhejiang when I was in China. I really like the people there. You know who is from Zhejiang? It's Jack Ma. Alibaba is based in Hangzhou, which is the capital city of Zhejiang. And people there, very educated and, extremely friendly. And, I'm not saying that I have a prejudice against other parts of China, but I have a good impression of people from Zhejiang in China. And I also asked him to verify that the Weibo account does indeed belong to him, because there could be some people posing as an influencer on Telegram. You never know, because there's just so many scammers on Telegram. And that was the reason I left Telegram for 6-7 years, just because they're just, full of scammers. Same thing with Twitter, But this guy checked out, he did indeed own the account with 800,000, 900,000 subscribers. And the engagement under his posts seems to be extremely active as well. I mean, some of the posts, on average, they have 1,000 comments and 400 or 500 reposts, retweets. So the guy seems to be legit, and he doesn't post a lot. From what I can gather, he probably make 1 or 2 posts a month. I can't really make up on why that's the case, but it seems that he is pretty trustworthy. And that's the thing with crypto and in investing in general. If you can make people money, you gain people's trust. I think that's what Murad said, right? I mean, that's how you start a community, is that you make people money. And once they are rich, they realize, oh, this guy is credible. I need to do whatever he tells you to do. Because people are lazy. People don't want to think for themselves. They want to be told what to think by other people. And if one guy proves himself over and over again that he's able to make people money, he gets credibility. And I think there are people on Weibo in China, they are like that. Although it's kind of hard to discern, the real influencers, the real KOLs from scammers. So 2 days ago, this KOL gave me option of promotion for us. There are 3 options. Option A was $2,000, B was $4,000, C was $6,000. And but before we could proceed any further, I asked him, the biggest concern that we're having right now is the warning tags that our contract deployer slapped on us. So when new investors, new buyers see these warning tags, they'll be extremely cautious before buying it. Would that be a problem? And he initially said, yeah, it is a tricky situation. It's probably a very uncommon situation. Even though he's probably very experienced with crypto, he probably never encountered such a scenario before. That's why he said, are you in talk with any professional team? And I said, I'm trying to ask someone to help us with this problem, but so far it hasn't yielded any fruits, any results. Then he said that if you just maintain the activity of your community, as long as, basically what he's saying is that as long as this is a real project and not an outright scam, we can work around that. He can promote our token and make a notice to his audience that, oh, we have this warning tag, but just ignore it. The most important thing is that, first of all, is our project a scam, which we all know it's not. It's been running for 3 years. And second of all is that, is the contract running well? Well, besides the warning tags and the hoops we have to jump through in order to buy on Uniswap or any of these dexes, it is, running flawlessly, in my opinion. Of course, the pricing protocol sometimes is behaving erratically for our token because of all these warning labels. That's why you see different prices across different platforms for us. But according to this influencer, as long as it's a legitimate project, as long as the contract works okay, people can ignore that. So I wanted to opt for the plan B, with the $4,000 plan. It's seems like the one with the most value, because one thing really attracted me was that he was able to, with $4,000, he was able to put us on the hot search results, in the top 20 hot search results. And from the little information I have regarding the Chinese crypto space, or Chinese internet space, it's really difficult to get on the hot search list. Across different platforms like Baidu and Sina and whatnot. So if he can guarantee us to do that, it's a great value, in my opinion. And that's why he requires us to pay up front. And whenever people ask you to pay up front, it's kind of fishy. So I was asking him, is this possible for us to make a down payment, then pay the rest later? But he said that there's all these upfront costs associated with the marketing effort. And that's why yesterday, right before bed, I didn't know what to do. I didn't want to shell out $4,000 for this marketing effort all by myself. I don't mind doing it, but to tell the truth, I've been funding all the marketing of Wojak out of my own pocket since August of last year, since I became active in the community. And it becomes pretty tiresome. I remember setting up a marketing wallet that accepts Solana USDT tokens, and so far there's only $10 in it. I told everybody in the Wojak community about this wallet, and it's been 6 months at least, and nobody had put any money into it. And that's the thing, to the community. This is a message to the community. We got to be able to work for our own bags. You can't depend on other people to work for you. You got to take the risk yourself as well. If you can't even shell out $10 to market the bag that you own, what are you doing in crypto, man? Just go get some stocks. You're probably much better off that way. So that was my idea as well, regarding this $4,000 marketing gig. I was thinking that maybe if we can get 40 people in Wojak, each contribute $100 to this marketing gig, we can spread the risk around. Because even though, I think 80% chance this guy is legit, this whale is legit, but, I could be wrong. The guy could be just a very, elaborate and sophisticated scammer and get me, and got me. I mean, I've been scammed many times before. Every time I thought this guy was trustworthy, and every time, I was proven wrong. So, but and that's why for $4,000, I will not be able to, I don't want to absorb the risk all by myself. But I don't mind, using $100 to risk it, And that's why I feel the same for, let's say, 40 whales of Wojak. Each just contribute $100, spread the risk around. It's pretty reasonable, And that's why yesterday, before going to bed, I posted the message on the general chat about this proposal. And my mistake was that I didn't, I went to bed. I think I posted around 11 o'clock and went to bed right away. And this morning I woke up and checked Telegram, and lo and behold, a can of worm just got opened up. There was one community member. He accused of my account being hacked, and hence, the post, I guess that was his explanation of my post. And the proof that he had was that I had some Wojak tokens in the donation wallet that I posted. I have some, just to make sure, I have some Wojak tokens. Okay, there's still 4 million Wojak tokens there on the donation wallet right now. They were from Gate.io. I had some old OG Wojak token on Gate.io prior to migration, and after migration they changed it into the Wojak token. Okay, and I plan to sell whatever remaining Wojak token I have whenever the price of the Wojak ever goes up, and switch to old Jack. So, I love a good conspiracy theory as well, but it's another message to the community. You gotta be careful before you make any comments. You gotta make sure that it doesn't spook anyone. It doesn't cause a panic, because this guy's comment really caused a panic, and a big holder of our Wojak token, he sold, so the price crashed 28%, 30% overnight. So a lot of people got spooked, and I hope that this big whale was the only one that sold. I hope nobody else got screwed because of this guy's little comment. But it shows you that how powerful words are, and how fragile trust is in crypto. And I know that by coming out with a daily video over the past 6 months, I kind of earned the trust of everyone here in terms of my integrity. People will not think, oh, this guy, he's just a scammer posing as someone. He's just waiting for his opportunity to rug pull and screw everybody else. I think we can put that theory to bed. But the issue, I think, is people don't trust my instinct. And I know that I'm kind of new to Telegram. Again, the reason I'm new to Telegram is because I knew there were so many scammers here, and I avoided intentionally for 10 years. I mean, for 5, 6 years, you know. And I'm not an expert in Telegram by all means, and I know there are many, you know, scammers on it, in it. But you know, I would bet for the majority of the token holders of crypto out there, I'm probably old enough to be your dad. Okay, so you gotta have a little bit of trust in my ability to discern a scam from a genuine marketing opportunity. Okay, I'm not saying that I know for sure. I mean, who knows? You know, after we spend these $4,000 for this marketing, this guy might, like I said, turn out to be a sophisticated scammer. So what? You know, we lose $100 each. But what's more important is that we're able to learn from this experience, right? So we'll know, oh, so this is how it works, you know. But the reason I was able to propose this event to the community is because I've done enough homework to know that there is a risk, yes, if we go with this guy for marketing, but it's manageable risk, it's calculated risk, you know. And considering that our token is pretty much batted down, and I'm willing, you know, to take this chance, to take this gamble with this influencer, because I think, you know, the Chinese market, the Chinese investors, they can truly make a difference for any token. And like I said before, you know, many of these Chinese investors, they don't really like to think for themselves. So if they explicitly and implicitly trust someone, whatever he recommends, they'll buy. And that's why I felt it's a risk worth taking, you know. But my intention was not to spook the community, you know. And that's why, you know, I remember when I was in my early 20s, you know, I didn't know anything. I was ignorant, even though I had a college degree. But I didn't know anything about the world. But I was arrogant enough to think back then that I knew everything, you know, and how stupid it is to think back on that 20 years later. And that's what I try to say, you know. Probably we all, not only you but me, we all need a healthy dose of humility, you know. Like the Bible says, God humbles the proud and exalts the humble. So, you know, I personally believe humility is really the quality that's most lacking in today's world. You know, we think we know best, and we, you know, don't really take any advice from other people. But I think if we can all be humble and, you know, give other people more credit than we usually do, I think we can really work together as a good team to push Wojak forward. So I know this video is really long. I've never shot a 20-minute video before, but hopefully I got my point across. You know, just don't panic, please. You know, as even in the future, you know, whenever you hear some certain things and you panic sell, or if you panic buy, usually it's not a good decision, you know. And you know, to the whale, I understand your choice, but we're always here, you know, our doors are always open for you. If you decide to come back, feel free, you know, you're always welcome. But if you feel, you know, this project is too much headache, I'm out, I understand that as well. And best of luck to you, okay? So that's all I have for today, guys. Thank you for listening to me babble for 20 minutes. I will see everybody on the next video.